Hello everyone, my name is Jayesh Wagh. Today I am here to give my presentation on margin and padding in CSS. First we will start with introduction. Welcome to the presentation on margin and padding in CSS. As a web developer and designer, we understand that creating visually appealing and functional website is a top priority. Two essential tools in our arsenal to achieve this are margin and padding. The CSS property play a crucial role in controlling the spacing and layout of element on a web page, influencing the overall user experience and aesthetics. Now we will learn about margins. CSS margins are used to create space around the element. We can set the different size of margin for individual sides like top, right, bottom and left. Like we can see in the diagram, margin is a space outside the border. Margin property can have the following values: length in centimeter, pixels, pt, etc., weight, percentage of element, margin calculated by the browser auto. The basic syntax of margin is body, curly braces open, margin, value, semicolon, curly braces close. Now we will learn about margin property in detail. Margin property is a shorthand property having the following individual margin properties. Margin top, it is used to set the top margin of an element. Margin right, it is used to set the right margin of an element. Margin bottom, it is used to specify the amount of margin to be used on the bottom of an element. Margin left, it is used to set the width of a margin on the left of the desired element. Note, the margin property allows negative value. Here is an example of margin in CSS. Its code is h1, curly braces open, border 4 pixels solid black, semicolon, margin 50 pixels, semicolon, curly braces close. Like we can see here, margin is a space outside the border. Here border is of black color and the space outside it is known as margin. Now we will learn about padding. CSS padding are used to create space around the element inside any defined border. We can set different padding for individual side, top, right, bottom, left. It is important to add border properties to implement padding properties. Padding property can have the following value: length in centimeter, pixels, pt, etc., with percentage of an element. Like we can see in a diagram, padding is a space between content and border. Syntax of padding is body, curly braces open, padding, value, semicolon, curly braces close. Now we will learn about padding property in detail. The padding CSS shorthand property can be used to specify the padding of each side of an element in the following order. Padding top, it is used to set the width of the padding area on the top of an element. Padding right, it is used to set the width of the padding area on the right of an element. Padding bottom, it is used to set the height of the padding area on the bottom of an element. Padding left, it is used to set the width of the padding area on the left of an element. Note, the padding property doesn't allow the negative values, unlike margin. Here is an example of padding in CSS. Its code is h1, curly braces open, border 4 pixel solid black, semicolon, padding 20 pixel, semicolon, curly braces close. Like we can see, the space between the content and the border of solid black is the space. This space is known as padding. Now you will think, what is the difference between margin and padding? Mar- Margin is a space outside the border of an element. Its purpose is to control the gap between an element's border and the adjacent element. Its usage is you can set margin value to push elements away from each other or to bring them closer. Like we can see here, margin is a space outside the border. On the other hand, padding is a space between the content of an element and its border. Its purpose is to control the internal space within an element. Its usage is to set padding to create space inside an element, separating its content from the border. In summary, margin control the space outside an element affected its positioning in relation to other element, while padding control the space inside an element affecting the distance between content and the border of an element itself. Conclusion. In conclusion, understanding the distinction between margin and padding in CSS is crucial for effective web design. Margins regulate the space outside an element, influencing its positioning relative to other element, while padding manages the internal space within an element, defining the separation between content and the element's border. Mastering the usage of margins and padding empowers designer to create visually appealing and well structured layouts, ensuring a seamless user experience on website. Thank you.